Welcome to the third and final gathering of your brand consistency check challenge. I'm very happy that you're here at the third and final gathering. So, to start off, I want to do a little recap of what we did in the first two gatherings. So, in gathering one, you made this beautiful checklist overview of all the channels that you use within your brand. So you're supposed to have a great overview right now of all the different portals that exist. Like your social media channels. What are all the social media channels you use? Have you written them down? And your website, if you have one, or maybe you have a stand store, or another way to get people to buy or book your stuff. And yeah, do you use email? Do you have a newsletter? Do you call people, text them? Like, do you have the same tone of voice there? So make sure that you have that checklist. And you can always add stuff to your channel checklist. Like if you're, for example, starting on a new channel. Like maybe you've never done emails before, but you're starting out with them. Make sure that you put it in your checklist and that you know what you're doing. So that was week one. And if you're ever unsure about all your channels or your checklist in general, just send it to me and we'll go over it and we'll see if it's complete. So that was gathering one. And then in gathering two, we made sure that your fire sentence is making sense. So your slogan. So I want to ask you, do you have your fire sentence now? And can you dream it? Like when I would wake you up in the middle of the night right now, can you tell me your fire sentence? And maybe even more important, if I were to ask someone that has viewed your profile, has bought one of your services, or has just spoken with you, would they be able to guess what your fire sentence, or like along the lines of your fire sentence, what it is? Because that's what it's about. Like step one is you writing down a fire sentence that you feel deep from within, like fits your brand. And then the second step is making sure that you communicate it everywhere and that people are starting to recognize it. And remember, like I've said before, we need, when someone's brand is new to you, you need to see it at least 10 to 15 times before it will stick with you the first time. So always keep that in mind when you're putting your stuff everywhere and when you're making your brand consistent. Keep in mind that it takes so many times for someone new, for a potential client or a potential fan of your brand, to recognize you and then to remember you. So that was week two, making sure that fire sentence is actually breathing fire. And now, the final third gathering. So, today is the final big test. So I want you to either for yourself or someone around you to check all of your portals and to see if they're working. Because if there's any broken links, people will start to wander through the halls and they'll get lost and they'll never end up inside your brand. So, get your checklist and just go through every channel and see if they work. Like ask a friend to book your calls or give someone a discount code to check if they can actually purchase your products. Really try out that whole system. Like if somebody's supposed to receive an email, for example, that maybe has a link in it that they need, test it out. Like see if they're actually receiving that email and that link. And also an important one, check if it ends in somebody's spam email box. Because what you can then do, you cannot like, yes, we can create magic, but sometimes we cannot like force the digital world to help us. So if your product emails are ending up in people's spam boxes, just write a little sentence somewhere when they're checking out that they can see when they're paying, like, oh, I need to check my spam folder because it might end up in there. Like, a lot of us already know this when we purchase stuff, but there's also a lot of people that don't know that. So really think about every tiny step that someone takes when they're getting to know your brand and when they're moving on all the different roads that you've created. Like, make sure there are no bumps in the road left. And like, make sure that if someone is to enter a new door, that they have the right key to enter that door. Because it would be a shame if people would get lost on their way to all the beautiful things that you have to offer. So, yeah, Gathering 3 is basically about testing, 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 testing. Because through trial and error, that is how we make a beautiful brand that's actually functioning and that has roads and portals that actually work. So, yeah, I just want to invite you, and I know it's not the most fun thing to try out, and it can be quite a hassle when things are not working, but the clarity and the rest it's going to give you when you can say with certainty that everything is in place and everything is working, that is going to free up a lot of space for you when you're thinking about the things that you want to improve. Because when you know that at least all your links are working, then the next step is to figure out, okay, and how can I now make sure that much more people are going to get on those roads and are going to go through my portals? That's then your next step. But then at least your fundament, your basis, is in place. And that's why I created this whole challenge. To make sure that you have all of those things in place first before you're going to create beautiful content and put more and more stuff out into the world. Because then at least people can find their way. So, test one final time. And yeah, when all of your roads and portals are working and you want to get even more clear on your brand and evolving your brand and turning your brand chaos into clarity, then the Brand Compass workbook might be something for you. That is the most beautiful and proudest product I've ever made. And it was born out of my own need for clarity around my brand. Like, I had all these scattered notes and everything was in my brain, but I didn't have a place where I could, not in a Word document and just in letters, but a beautiful visual place where I could line out everything my brand is about. Yeah, so if you're interested, book your free exploration call and we can figure out if the compass is something for you. So, this is the end of your brand consistency check challenge. And yeah, if you got all the way here, I would invite you to let me know. Like, has it helped you? Tell me, because I want to create more beautiful and free stuff like this, just to help all of you. And in order for me to continue doing this, I need to know, like, what are you struggling with and what's really helping? So, from your brand wizard Leo, with now my own magic wand, I want to thank you once again. And I hope to see you very soon and at least see you here inside the Brand Castle. So, it was a pleasure to be here. Bye bye.